Record.
Hola, Yuri.
Hello.
Okay, we are officially recording now. Let's see how it works.
Hey, everybody. Hi, Matthew. Welcome.
Hey.
How's it going?
Well.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Geronimo.
Do we have the agenda somewhere?
Yes, it is in PeerPad. We have fundraiser, Omen, DXdao, and developer and business.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, Gamar.
How's everyone doing?
Good.
Good.
Yeah. Hey.
We wait another 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'll probably wait a couple of minutes for people to join. Maybe while we're waiting, we could do some intros for those who don't know each other.
Sure. I can go first. Name's Ingemar. I'm currently handling all things business development, marketing, content for the DXdao. For those who haven't seen it yet, I made a post on medium.com/@Ingemar, kind of documenting the open raise process and DXdao as being the first one to use it. So that's me.
I guess I can go next. I'm John Kelleher, and yeah, I've been doing different DXdao stuff for a little bit, and lately been doing a lot of dev work with the fundraiser, and then we're looking at a couple other things that we'll be talking about today. I guess I'll just pass it along. Matthew, do you want to go next?
Yeah, hi. I'm Matthew. My keybase is Bendición. I don't think my photo's on the keybase. This is my first meeting. So one of the benefits of the pandemic is I've had more time to go back and get involved in other projects. So I'm happy to be here and get more involved. Thanks.
Cool. And then maybe we could just keep going around. Yuri, do you want to go next?
Hello, I'm Yuri. I'm a DXdao member. Little bit trading on DutchX and Mesa, and follow all of the stuff, voting, and support all decentralization things. I am passed to Geronimo.
Hey, guys. Geronimo, Caucus, Thomas. I am one of the guys who are like full-time working for the DXdao for starting this month. So yeah, I'm working on products, working on designs. I did all the Omen designs. I did the landing page and the fundraising design. So yeah, I'm kind of trying to manage all those products which we are like trying to manage and trying to launch. So that's it. And I'm passing to Augusto. Augusto, you're muted.
You're muted.
No.
Okay, now good. Hola a todos. Well, Augusto here from Argentina. I've been working on the DXdao now. It's going to be, I think, for a month and a half. I'm a full stack JavaScript developer, and I've been involved in the development of the bundling Cured app / DXtrust. I created some topics about how to interact with the DXD token, the DXtrust contrast. And now I'm working mainly with John and Geronimo and other developers that are joining on developing more apps. One is a fork of Uniswap that I'm going to be talking later. And I pass the mic to Franco.
Hi everyone. I am Franco. This is my first time. I am software developer too. A few weeks ago, Augusto told me about DXdao, and I start to see and read, and it's very interesting. And now, in this moment, I am in Spain, in Europe. COVID found me here, so I will stay here a bit more time. And well, I am really interested in this topic, and well, I will stay some time more. So well. I don't know who is next.
We can pass it to Eric, maybe. I think he just joined. We're just doing some quick intros as people filter in.
Hey guys, I work at DXdao, doing mainly DAO design, DAO use case work. Yeah, just popping in here to see how things are going. We have a few DAO use cases that I think could use Mesa and could complement what DXdao is doing. So just want to stay up to date and give you guys updates on what's going on our end.
Cool. And is that Elon on the call? Who's Nylon? I'm guessing that's you. Or if not, maybe Clement. You want to do a quick intro?
Hi, I'm Clement. I'm working at Kleros, which is a dispute resolution system, and also what is used currently in the checks to get the list of tokens. And there may be more potential of collaboration with the DXdao, like with Omen, or potentially also with the DXswap. So we're gonna speak about that more in a specific session of those topics.
Great. And I think Ken, you want to go next? I think there's only maybe a couple more, and then we'll jump in.
Yeah, sure. I'm Chen. I'm from Israel. Recently been involved in the DXdao, launching the Mesa challenge, trading competition, and generally, involved in the DXdao. Yeah, I don't know.
I think that might be it. Is Matt on the call or Finestone?
Yes.
Yes.
Thanks, John.
Calling you out.
I'm Matthew. I work for Loopring. Been involved with the DXdao, I guess, since its inception, and now it's quite nice to see these. I think we're gonna have to stop doing these calls because these intros, because we have a lot of people on them now. So it used to just take like 4 seconds. Now it's a lot more people joining, but yeah, really cool to see so many new faces and returning faces that have taken a big role. It's awesome.
Cool. Chris and maybe Nylon, if that's your real name, if you guys want to go. All right. Well, oh, here he is.
It's my cover name.
It's
Uh,
Valen.
Where's your video, Matt?
Not on.
Yeah, so my name is Dayon. I don't know. I'm working for DAOstack. I've been following the project for a long time, and now you have money, so it's interesting.
Finally shows up.
I've been meaning to get on the call so many times, but I don't know. It always conflicted with something. So yeah, that's that. Yeah, I don't know. Interesting stuff. Love to see what you guys are up to. Whenever I can.
Cool, great, thanks. Chris, did you want to intro yourself?
Yeah, I've been lurking the last 2 or 3 weeks. So I've kind of been on these calls. So I've been following along, kind of coming from the DeFi side. I read a newsletter on DeFi and a newsletter on Govern This, and kind of do research in the space. Background's kind of in financing consulting. Just thinking that DXdao is cool and interested in seeing what develops.
Chris's newsletters are great stuff. You guys should check it out. And he's actually covered the DXdao a little bit already, which is pretty cool to see. Yeah.
I probably will do something on tomorrow for tomorrow's version. So I may be in like taking notes on what.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Is that Dose of DeFi? Dose of DeFi?
So Dose of DeFi is the newsletter that I've had. And then about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I started another one called Govern This, which is about governance. I've kind of come into it from the DeFi side because like MakerDAO and Compound and Synthetics are all kind of, pushing forward a lot of new governance initiatives now. And so I was kind of following that, and then through that fell into kind of this other area. And I think, I think just seeing how far it can go, but Govern This .substack and Dose of DeFi .substack for both of them.
Good stuff.
Put them in the chat if that's it.
Yeah, perfect. All right, so I'll just go down the agenda, trying to MC here. I guess the big difference from last week is the DAO now has Ether, thanks to the fundraiser kind of successfully kicking off at the end of last week. And I think, Ingemar, do you want to just kind of walk us through everything that's happened and kind of current state?
Sure, yeah. All right, so the smart contracts for OpenRay's DApp were deployed on May 7th. So there was an Alchemy proposal to the DXdao to point DXdao.eth to the fundraiser contract. And so basically it went public on May 7th, live on May 8th, and on May 9th, the 250 Ether Kickstarter threshold was closed and trading on Uniswap. So pretty awesome that, day by day, it went from announcement to live to the threshold being met and live trading. So probably the first occurrence of this to happen. And with all the marketing being done, really just a couple of tweets and Keybase and whoever trickled into the Telegram group. So our write-up on the DXDAO's OpenRays was published on BitForward's Medium account on a day after the threshold was met. So which led to mentions on ETHub, Week in Ethereum, and so a week since the start of the launch, we're currently at 600 ETH raised, with the DXD minting price at 0.159 ETH, so about triple the Kickstarter base price, and 0.09 ETH on Uniswap, with 71 holders of DXD and a supply of about 7,600 DXD. So now with the Kickstarter closed and DXDAO's continued funding sort of slowing down, We've got 3 products at various stages of progress. We got Mesa, Open, and Omen, and Mix. So I guess for the next couple of weeks, we'll need to take into account the road ahead. So that's basically it.
I like minting price. I think that's a good word for it, right? Because I think a lot of people, we saw a little bit on Twitter, people were a little confused about how the price on the curve was different than the price on Uniswap. And they're like, how is this? And like, I think that's just because people aren't familiar with how the bonding curve is set up, and like how it makes sense that the secondary market most of the time would be below the minting price. Yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm. It keeps a pretty strong control of the supply.
It's also kind of weird that the fundraising is actually live tomorrow. So it's kind of weird that we kind of did fundraising already without seeing this website going proper live, right? I mean, it's an IPFS hash, so yeah, everyone can just go through that, but like official launch is actually tomorrow, and we have already money in the bank. So good thing is we can like immediately continue just building stuff and focus on important things.
Yeah, and like Ingebar mentioned, I guess a big discussion will have to be like the prioritization and kind of usage of these funds. I mean, I don't know if it makes sense to talk about that now. I think we've got some big product updates to even cover in this call, but something to keep in mind.
Yeah, one thing we should mention is it's quite interesting that someone already withdrew DXD from the vesting contract. Withdrawing, I mean, they just triggered the transaction which sends DXD from the vesting contract to the DXdao address. So the DXdao has DXD, and I think it would be important, like an important subject for us in the coming weeks to actually talk about how we should distribute DXD in general, like at least for the short-term plan. So that's like one point. It's the good thing is like we don't even need like a DAO connection to the vesting contract, so because everyone can actually just send the transaction, and the money will flow to the DXdao. So that's a good point. But we definitely need 2 connections from the DXdao to the bonding curve. So like maybe at some point we actually want to burn DXD or even buy DXD, whatever the DAO decides. So that connection is kind of important. And another connection is like the proxy admin, which could be used from the DXdao to upgrade the bonding curve based on a new configuration or whatever. So those 2 connections needs to be made, and like a few folks are like preparing the connection, and like the process will be to make a DAO talk thread with voting security parameters so everyone can check, and then at some point the connections will be made on chain.
Clement's asking, is there an explainer on the DXD token model? I mean, if you want to understand how the bonding curve works, I don't have the link in front of me, but the Fairmint white paper does a big like deep dive into the whole system and how it works, and those were used. Yeah, Augusto just posted a link. That's good. But I mean, essentially, the DXD is to get future revenues from the DAO. So like the promise basically from the DXdao is to send revenues it makes from its products into the buyback reserve, which would raise the sell price and like create value for DXD. And good points on the vesting contract, John. Yeah, it's like continuously vesting, and it's a public call that anyone can make in order to transfer the vested tokens to the DXdao, and it's vesting over 3 years, the 100,000 DXD. Any other questions?
Anyone? Yeah. Sorry. Anyone having questions?
If not, we can, I think, just kind of keep going here. Geronimo, do you want to lead us into an update on Omen? Just kind of, I guess, I'm not sure even how many people know what Omen is, so maybe just start with an overview and then kind of talk about where things are.
Omen is a prediction market based on the conditional token framework from Gnosis. And the beauty or like the new innovation here is that they are like merging Uniswap style liquidity pools with those conditional token framework. So one huge issue with prediction markets is that most of the times there is no liquidity to do any betting. So Augur has had always issues like and the result of that is that the UX is just horrible and people will leave immediately because if the order book is not filled with stuff, you can't do bets. So the purpose of Augur is like useless. And Omen is trying to fix that issue by having a Uniswap style pool where people can like just deposit assets into the pool and earn trading fees on that trading. And it seems like Omen will have trading fee of 4%. So it sounds high, but Augur has actually higher fees. And yeah, so anyone could earn money with liquidity on Omen. So, and the product itself is like very, very simple because of that. We actually have like a testing version of it live, so anyone can play around with it. Thanks, Clement. Clermont. And yeah, so the state of that app is actually like, it's not a dream, it's not a pipe dream, it's like, it's working and it's actually in the testing phase and in the quality assurance phase. So it would be good that not only the full-time people make sure that this product is user-friendly and working for users. So it's like, it shouldn't be a beta where like bugs are everywhere. So we all need to make sure to check it out, to play around with it on Rinkaby or even on main. So we need to check it out. We need to see the issue list, which I'm going to, like in general, create a DAO talk post and kind of a call to action to make sure that people play around with it. So we kind of making sure that the launch will not be a disaster. I did a lot of playing a few days ago, and it actually seems like it's a really cool product. It's simple, it works. So there's a high chance that we can actually strongly compete against Augur V2. So check it out. And I think Clermont can actually talk about the...
Yeah, so...
sorry, I got a question. I just got a question.
Oh, yeah.
Is this on mainnet?
It's
that's
on
the mainnet, yeah.
Oh, I see. And
you can try the market with presidential election and COVID deaths, and there is liquidity on it.
Very cool. It's amazing. And how does it relate to what does DXdao control in Omen, or like how does DXdao collect fees, or what's the relationship?
So that like short term, there will be an arbitrator option. People can do markets with DXdao as an arbitrator. Code is ready, stuff is there. We just need to make the connection. That's one part. Like if there's like a scammer trying to scam those markets, which happened a lot of times in Augur, people can like call the police or like the arbitrator to make sure that the correct outcome will actually be set. The DXdao will be one of a few arbitrator who can be picked. Another one is Kleros. I think Clement will be talking about that. And that's like short term, but the like long term, if that product is successful and we have a brand and people like our product, there's like a very easy way to get a cut of fee from trading to the DXdao. And that's like very, very interesting because there could be like trading volumes of millions for specific markets. And that is like the holy grail, but long term.
Yes, so Claros is also an arbitrator, a final arbitrator, which can work with Omen. So in Omen, you almost never go to the final arbitrator. It's using Realisho, which is the arbitrator, the Oracle application. So you ask a question, depending on the answer, obviously the prediction market will reward people who bet on this answer. But people may misreport some answers. So when you report an answer, you put some ETH on an answer, and someone can say, oh no, you're wrong, and put twice as much ETH on another answer. And this game can finish either when no one challenges the current answer, or when someone pays some arbitration fees to raise the dispute to the final arbitrator. So Claros and the DXdao can be final arbitrators. Normally, they should almost never be called. So there is already Crypto Unlock, which is using this system with Realisho, and for now, no dispute ever went to the final arbitrator. There were a few disputes where people stake it on one side and then stake on the other side, but did not go to the final arbitrator. So what we want is arbitrator, which may be slow, may be expensive, that's not really a problem, but which are really reliable. Because if they are really reliable, people will stake on the correct outcome, and only really few edge cases where it's not clear will escalate to arbitration. So on the Claros team, we can also help with Omen. While integration is already done, so that this point is done. We're also gonna, if the high-end collaboration proposal is accepted, give some PNK to incentivize market makers in the first 3 months of Omen launch. So this way, people making market are guaranteed that they're gonna be paid when they put liquidity on the market they are creating. So I think it's really important to bootstrap initial liquidity, because otherwise we get a chicken and egg problem. Like there is no people betting, so there is no incentive in providing liquidity, and if there is no liquidity, there is no one betting. So we need to kind of like give some subvention, I would say, to the beginning of Omen. And also upon reaching some open interest milestone, there is some allocation which can be given to the DXdao in the same manner as with Gnosis, giving some allocation of GNO to Mesa. So for those who are not aware, the Gnosis, they put for $200,000 worth of GNO token allocated to the DXdao under the condition that there is some volume on Mesa. And this is also using the conditional token framework, and with Claros as an arbitrator on whether or not this volume will be reached. So if the volume is reached, the DXdao gets a GNO token. And for the high-end collaboration proposal, it's the same ID, except we did not put just one, because everything or nothing is not the nicest thing, because you can miss it. You can miss it easily, and you don't get a super high reward if you go way above. So there are 4 different thresholds of payment which can be received by the DXdao. And in addition of that, we will also do some security review of the part of Omen we haven't reviewed yet. We already reviewed the Realisho, and we're also going to review the market making contract and the conditional contracts. And John put the link to the proposal on Alchemy.
Yeah, like I think if some of you didn't read about like Martin Köppelmann's comment in the thread, I think it will show, like, if we all make sure that, like, if Claros is accepted on the proposal and everyone is pro higher collaboration, it is like a showcase that the DXdao is not like a greedy fuck who's like just just thinking about them like itself and like making money as like everyone in this space, but it's like more focused on bringing teams together. Not like everyone is like pretending to do it with Medium posts and like they just claiming to have partnerships, but this is like actually true partnership because people can actually pick Kleros and or the DXdao, and people can use the conditional token framework from Gnosis. So it's like a really 3 huge teams working all together to achieve something greater. And it could be a very powerful movement in the and also like an example for the DXdao that we like not only think about ourselves, but also like trying to connect very strongly from the human side and even like on the on-chain side, like that we're like connecting now into the system. So let's hope we win that challenge.
Yeah, one of the beauties of what we already have is all this integrations of products and protocols. And yeah, Omen so far has been developed by Protofire, which is a dev shop, I think mostly based in Argentina. And they got funded through a Gecko grant and kind of, so that's like where all the product development has come from. And yeah, it would be amazing. Like I think we're approaching the launch. The actual date is not clear yet, but it would be great if we beat Augur V2 to launch. And yeah, if people haven't tried it out, it's pretty cool. It's actually there's already live usage of the conditional token framework in basically a fork of this same code base on the Corona information markets that Gnosis had launched. And so you can actually even participate in those live as well. But the Open platform is a little different, so check that out too in that conditional.netlify.app link.
Yeah, so my gut feeling is, at least like I checked it out yesterday, I did like 10 or maybe 15 issues. It's just like polishment things, but they need to be fixed just because I care about user experience. But the like gut feeling is there's a very high chance that this thing will go live next week. So that's really great. And another good thing is that like once that thing is live, there's already like a second design version already like prepared. So this is not like we just release it and then that's done. It's actually like just a start, and there will be a lot of work to make sure that we are killing everything else in terms of user experience. And yeah, I think the second version will be very interesting because we kind of integrate the whole Really.io ETH staking functionality inside Omen. So the user experience is like staying completely in the dApp, and we will make sure that like people like the products. And yeah, there are a lot of plans for Omen.
Yeah, can you link the? Okay, I'll just link some example.
That is the Corona information markets. Is the last one, and then the conditional.netlify.app is kind of the test, but on mainnet version of Omen that you should kind of bang around with and see if you can find any bugs.
Yeah, I think that's it for Omen. If no one has like input.
Yeah, any big questions on that? Otherwise, we can move on to the next topic. Cool. Next on the list is DX Swap. Augusto, do you want to take this one?
Sure. Well, I don't know if the people who is in this call have heard or have read the topic that Joe created on the Talk. We started working a few weeks ago on a fork of a lovely product, of a product that is very well known in the community and a lot of people like, called Uniswap. We saw that they were going to use a fee system, who they were claiming that it was going to be transferred to not claiming, but we saw in the documentation that they say that the one very good case for the fee to be governed is to be administrated by a DAO. So we wanted to make sure that it was going to be happen. And since Uniswap and all their libraries and code is under general public license, we took the decision to fork the source code and implement very small changes with a major impact, mainly on the fee, principally on the fee governance, right? Where Uniswap is going to be where Uniswap has a 0.3% fee for swaps on their token pairs, and over that fee there is a share that goes to Uniswap itself. We did small changes on the contract, so DXswap, the only change that is going to have is that the fee is going to be the protocol fee, which we call it a protocol share. We need to decide on the naming. Is going to be activated and governed, and it's going to be able to be changed by DXdao. And also the fees on each token pair, they're going to be able to be changed. And furthermore, and also they will be able to be transferred, the governance of a token pair, maybe to other project owners, or whatever the DAO thinks is the responsible for that token pair. So these were, again, minimal changes with major impact in the governance. And we already have the repositories already forked. We have a pull request on the DXswap core repository where we can share the pull request here. That is the core. I mean, it's the most important pull request is where the changes in the core contracts are made. Another important thing that we have to remark is that the changes, since the changes in the protocol are minimal, Uniswap and DXswap will be able to be used at the same time. They both use the same called periphery contracts. So I think that we will see in the future, like maybe an aggregator of these swap projects. So this doesn't really hurt that much the ecosystem, and I think it's going to be a great experience for the Ethereum community to experience a fork like this and see how these two projects collaborate here from now on the future. So that is it. We have the pull request on the DXswap core contracts. You are free to check it out. We also have the DXswap periphery contracts. They are also working with the current changes, which is great. That demonstrates that the changes are minimal everywhere. And well, Uniswap went through an audit themselves. So I don't know. I think I'm not missing anything else. Oh yeah. So once we consider the smart contracts repositories to be finished, they will be able to be deployed. I don't know by anyone, and ideally, well, they will have to be transferred to a DXdao as the token pair factory manager. So yeah, that's it. Am I missing something else, John or Geronimo?
Yeah, well, one our goal, like the dev's goal was to not decide, but rather make it so dynamic that the DXdao, that the collective will decide what the future of that thing is, and that's why we had this dynamic protocol fee and dynamic swap fee, and it is like a very huge experiment actually, and I would love to see where it's going. Like a few folks already like are very pro public good, which means setting, like removing the protocol fee forever to make sure that this thing is actually managed by humans, and it will never be like leveraged by a VC or by a company. So that will need to be decided once that thing is going live. And I think it's like a really great experiment, and it could be a very important public good if protocol fees are zero. There's also like, maybe we could say we just collect a specific amount of money and then we will make sure that this will be forever public good. So just to make sure that we have funds to continue and developing the front ends and make it more useful. We don't know. We need to decide that all together.
And I think there's a fair amount of flexibility in the possibilities here in terms of governing both the protocol fee or share, if you will, and the swap fees or liquidity fees, depending on what you call that. Some ideas that I get excited about are, the possibility that the liquidity fee could actually be governed by pair, potentially by the liquidity providers themselves, right? Like initially it would be DXdao had control, but that the possibility would be there to build kind of like a smart contract layer between that allowed stuff like that, which could be really cool, I think.
Yeah. Also, like people, like there are a lot of skepticism about the DX swap can actually compete. Like they don't know what this thing actually has, like in terms of unbeatable features, like having the DXdao managing the front ends. The front ends will be 10 times more secure than Uniswap's front ends, because at the end of the day, some guy in Russia has the keys for the Uniswap front end, and the DXswap will be very difficult to change in general the front end. It will require 2 weeks of a governance proposal. So the front end will be more secure. It will be community driven. People can make proposals to simply add the token, right? Like if you want to add a token now on Uniswap, have fun, like convincing some guy to just add it to the. You need to create a GitHub issue and then hope, but this is not like the DXdao will do it. And there's a lot of power in giving people actually a DXdao reputation for locking liquidity into the pools. So there could be a DXD token pool which has 0 swap fees, but people can earn reputation for a duration. It should be like very slow at the beginning, just to have experiments. It should be like dripping rep, just that the community will get a feeling of how we actually distribute reputation. Because at the end of the day, the DXdao needs to be decentralized, and the powers shouldn't be in the hands of like 10 people, but it should be like, our goal should be to disrupt ourselves and make sure that we are like not controlled by a few. So there's also like a lot of experiments we can do.
Well, so yeah, my 2 cents in the protocol fee. This is going to be a huge decision. We have a lot of possibilities and different solutions that can be applied on the protocol fee. So I'm pretty sure that the DXdao will find a solution that is going to help DXD holders, developers, the liquidity providers, the traders. So that is going to be the DXdao goal. And I think maybe one of the most important decisions that is going to make this year. So excited for that. And I shared there in the chat the link to the pull request with the DXapp core changes. Yeah, all developers here, they are welcome there to take a look. You can even give a comment or give a thumbs up on the description or anywhere to express your approval or rejection on the pull request. And yeah, that's it.
So on the fee, on the protocol fee, I already think we should have 0 protocol fee. On Uniswap version 1, having 0 protocol fee was a huge selling element of Uniswap. Like it's completely decentralized, completely public good. There is no particular ownership of the protocol and of the pool. And I think that it's something which really led Uniswap to grow a lot, to have people supporting it at the beginning. Now, Uniswap version 2, they get a fee and we don't really know where it's going. They end up being some VC-backed ventures which are expecting some returns. And we can expect that we're going to have the classic attract, extract strategy, where you have a business which is backed by VC. At the beginning, the VC, they subvention the business. So at the beginning, there would be no fee. And once everyone is using it, then they can put a fee. And because they have created networks effect, people cannot move to fee-less version of the protocol. And it may be fair when it has been developed by the VC money. But here, Uniswap has been developed mainly by some Ethereum grant. So I think it should stay a public good. And if we have zero fee, that may be an argument high enough for people to use DXswap compared to using Uniswap v2. But I don't think a better managed fee is going to be an argument high enough for people to prefer DXswap to Uniswap v2. I think like potential, just the simple fact that it's made by Aiden is going to far outweigh the better managed fee that the DXdao can provide. It doesn't mean that we never have to have fee. We could have fee at the front-end level, but if I don't see Uniswap like DXswap succeeding with the protocol fee.
Yeah, but my 2 cents on this is I would agree, and I could definitely see DXdao gaining a lot, just no fee, but having like some marketing. You know, like this product is created by the DXdao as a public good. I could imagine there'd be, because Uniswap is such a used tool, you'd have tons of exposure. DXdao would be able to get developers interested in building the product, doing more things. Could be very interesting.
Yeah, there is also a possibility to set a limit on the fee, to also have the fee be activated if this contract balance has this amount of Ether or a certain limit fee. That can be also be done. The fee can be enabled or disabled and change the value at any time. And yeah, one thing that Clement said, well, this project hasn't been maintained by the Ethereum grant, or it has been maintained mainly by the money that we raise through the Bonding Cure fundraising, where we have to be very thankful to the investors, there. And yeah, let's see. I think we need to find a way of how we can keep all the funds raised inside the circle, to have a full circle automation where we are going to keep the money flowing between the DXdao, the traders, and inside this development decentralized circle that is not going to go through certain people's pocket. That seems that is going to be the business process on Uniswap. So it will be great to change it.
Yeah, I think like there's always the possibility that someone else will just make a fork of Uniswap with no fee, and that'll kind of like take the momentum away from the DXdao. So I think starting off with zero fee will like get some traction, and then like implementing some parameter later for like users to like set their own fees if they want to contribute, and like, I don't know, like get reps somehow by like depending on like the fees that they put on their trades to like support the DXdao, like if they choose to. But yeah, starting off with zero fees would definitely, I think, be a good like preemptory move.
Yeah, the fees are by default the ones that they are using Uniswap. That is 0% protocol fee by default. The one that is starting with 0% fee, and the swap fee is 0.3%. That is the one that is going to be applied in the token pair that is going to be adding liquidity. That is going to be the fees by default, the same one that Uniswap are using. I don't think the DXdao is going to change. It's going to change them for the following months. So we can hope we will see a lot of how can we say it? Lot of applications that are going to be developed over Uniswap. They can also be applied to the DXswap.
So no protocol fee doesn't mean no fee. Like we can have some front-end fee, like fees which are only taken if people interact through front-end which is hosted by the DXdao. And this way, people who interact with, for example, liquidity aggregator or swap mechanism which are integrated into dApps, they will end up with 0 fee. So for them, it's really interesting to integrate with DXSwap compared to integrating with Uniswap v2 with some fee. And people are still going to pay fee for convenience when they use the DXdao maintained front end.
I think that's a really great point, because no one in this space ever tried to do that, probably because of legal issues, like taking some small money for a transaction. And I think the DXL can do that, and it will also make sure that we compete against user experience with anyone else, but that the base layer at the protocol, it should be everyone should connect, and with 0 protocol fees. Yeah, that's a really great point.
Awesome. These are great arguments. And like, yeah, I imagine this will have to be, I mean, I guess continuously it could be decided by votes on the DXDAO, but even maybe before launch, some kind of, this will have to be kind of fleshed out maybe more on the forum and through an official proposal to kind of set the direction that the DXDAO wants to go in and kind of realize consensus around this. Hearing a lot of good arguments here from both sides, like some obligation to return to make some revenues for the DXD investors. We could potentially just serve it as a public good, maybe make fees on the front end. Something I don't think that we've very clearly articulated is it's also possible that, I think Augusto was saying something about this, but we could have a cap on the protocol fee, like an all-time cap, right? Like it'll never go above a certain amount of Ether, like forever, so that there could be money to maintain and develop the protocol for some time. But if it goes on to be critical infrastructure for the future world financial system, it's capped and doesn't lead to this kind of endless greed. But yeah, okay. Anyways, great stuff. Since we're kind of running out of time here, a couple of things to cover left. Ken, do you want to give us an update on the Mesa Challenge?
Yeah. So we have a funding of ALS, which is a token used for fees in Mesa, and it's worth for now I think 70 cents. So we have around $7,000 of ALS for bounties. So we have already a DAO which is dedicated to giving out bounties. The proposal already went through in the Alchemy. I'm really excited to see if we can get some traction for the bounties and get people claiming all bounties. So you're all welcome to get in the DAO. I don't know. I think you can see on the forums and on Alchemy, and I'm soon gonna publish a Medium post with some instructions. And from the trading competition side, I think that's also important to spread the word that there's around $60,000 of GNO tokens. It's conditional, so it will only be distributed if we get the to the $20 million volume on Mesa. So that's what's different between the bounties and the trading competition. But still, if we get the $20 million mark, people could claim $60,000 of GNO for the trading volume. So I think it's really worthwhile, and I hope the volumes will increase soon as we spread the word about it.
Awesome. And that DAO you mentioned, it's a Aragon DAO that was stood up kind of for the express purpose of distributing this OWL bounties, right? So it actually integrates with a bounty system where you can submit ideas, and then if they get funded by the group on the DAO, then you can make an application, right? And then eventually get rewarded for your work. And that is all going to be outlined in this Medium post, right, Ken?
Yeah, right. And another thing, anyone that wanted to join the new DAO, which is meant to just distribute the bounties, is welcome to submit a proposal to the DXdao, and it will be added to the new bounties DAO.
Very cool.
So just to get this straight, and the only way to join the bounties DAO is to just make a proposal in the DXdao?
Yeah. So
Okay.
so make a proposal in DXdao and make sure to add your address that you want to be added to the new bounties DAO. If you're using Gnosis Safe, I think it's not a great idea to take the Gnosis Safe address, as the Aragon UI doesn't support right now the Wallet Connect. So anyone want to join, just drop your ETH address connected to your MetaMask.
Exactly. So anyone who's not using Gnosis Safe can immediately join by just telling the members already to like include you. Anything like Gnosis Safe, sadly, because Aragon is not taking care of user experience, because they don't have Wallet Connect functionality, which is crazy. But it's like that. So we need to go through a proposal to really know that you're the person.
Yeah, so the idea is to have effectively a committee to kind of just review and approve distribution of this like $7,000 worth of OWL tokens that's being given by Gnosis as incentive. And yeah, anybody from the DXdao is eligible to join that committee by like making this proposal and getting in there. And then there's like a simple voting mechanism within the Aragon DAO that's been set up. Yeah, Matt's asking for the. We can provide that link later too, and I'm sure it's all going to be in that Medium post in detail. So,
yeah. If one of you have any ideas for bounties, for promotions, feel free to DM me or post it in the forums. So we're looking for ideas to give bounties. So yeah.
Awesome. And so like the last thing on the agenda list is the idea of standing up a couple more weekly calls. On the developer side, I think the group of us that have been doing development for the DXdao have already been meeting pretty regularly, sometimes almost daily. And so I think it makes total sense at this juncture to start a weekly dev call that is open obviously to the whole community, and where we'll just kind of cover everything that's going on and allow kind of more free-flowing discussion. I think this call, the weekly call, I think obviously should continue, but since we have quite a bit going on now, there's a few active products, the fundraiser, different initiatives and conversations going on. I think it makes sense for this call, to respect people's time, to be kept to 1 hour and to cover things at a high level, just kind of at an update. But yeah, I think that's why it makes sense to have these other calls, just kind of allow people to take deeper dives, do more brainstorming, discussion, and kind of push things forward. One on the developer side, and then the other one would be a business development call. I think with these products launching and all the integrations that we have, I myself, I think I could fill an hour easily just spouting off ideas on things we could do to, activate our products and bring more people into the community. And so I think it makes a lot of sense to have a dedicated call for people who want to participate in those activities to discuss and kind of, blaze the path forward. So yeah, we're sorry that this is kind of running out of time here, but if anybody has thoughts on that, we can discuss that a little bit now.
Yeah, let's discuss it. Well, right now we are using Keybase, for mainly the developers. So I guess all the developers here there are welcome to join our Keybase development channel, and we can discuss when to have the development call, the call for developers. That we have a lot of stuff to work, and yeah, all of you guys or the developers here are welcome to join us.
Definitely. And Ken and Ingemar, I pinged you guys separately because I know you're essentially already active in sort of business development activities. So kind of curious your thoughts on doing something like this on the business development side as well.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I think it's totally possible. We have a business development chat in Keybase, which is not really active. I think that it's important to keep everything very simple, and so people like from the outside or anyone can easily understand what's going on and follow the DAO's decisions and discussions. So maybe we should summarize, or I know that this call is summarized, but have like written summary, or I don't know, just one point to think about.
Yeah, that's a good point too, that it hasn't really been that active yet, and maybe it makes sense to start in Keybase on the biz dev side. And I'm happy to drop some ideas in there. I think there's a lot that we can do for Mesa, Omen, DXSwap if we do it at the fundraiser itself. I think there's a lot of stuff we can do.
Cool. So let's take the discussion to Keybase, and if there's active discussion, we can also schedule a call.
Totally. Awesome. So we're right about at the hour. Lots of good stuff today. Thanks for joining, everyone. Any last minute announcements or anything that can be done quickly? Feel free to make them now. Otherwise, sign off. Cool. All right, guys. Thanks everybody for joining. Have a good day, and see everybody on Keybase.
All right, take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
See you guys.